T.A.G, very nice, very evil.
Yeah, that's T.A.G shit.
Free fall as I die through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama, I don't really.
What up, T.A.G Nation? It's the commish, ScooterRay, and not only that, and still your T.A.G technical predictions champion. You know what I'm saying? Just breathe it all in. I'll let you breathe it all in because I don't want to derail the video and look like a giant pixel. But breathe it all in. And still, your longest reigning, your first ever, your longest, shortest, all of that, right here. This guy. But yes, last night, well, not last night in Saudi Arabia, but in the afternoon here in the States, we had WWE's Night of Champions, as you can see right here to the side. It is the annual pay-per-view that they've been pretty much doing in Saudi Arabia for, I think it's the third or fourth one they've been doing. I can't remember off the top of my head, but this is also the crowning of a king of the ring, a queen of the ring. We do have a United States Championship match and a WWE Undisputed Championship match as well. And the night started off strong with the finals of the king of the ring. You had Cody Rhodes taking on one Randy Orton. Now, both gentlemen do represent SmackDown. So the winner of this match will not only be king of the ring, but they get to challenge the champion, whether it be John Cena or CM Punk at SummerSlam. Both gentlemen had reasons, of course, to become king of the ring. Cody wants the redemption for what happened at WrestleMania. Randy is still chasing Championship 15, and he kind of wants his get back for what Cena did at Backlash at St. Louis. So a lot of emotions. And one thing I can appreciate with this fight was they went into pretty much their history. They was going through the history that, Legacy formed at this year. And then, Cody and Ted DiBiase kicked Randy Orton out. And these gentlemen had this many matches. And technically, Orton has more W's over Cody. So we'll see where it goes. But it was some pretty good. It was some pretty good and solid back and forth action. Now, early in the match, Orton went for a top rope superplex. I don't know for sure if Randy truly tweaked his back, but he was selling the back for the rest of the match. Considering he was the one that went for it, he was selling that back. And I don't know is it one of them situations to where he was really hurt or he was really good at, selling it, but it did go down. But once again, it was still a solid match between these gentlemen. I mean, they're going to be professionals. They're going to be good. They're going to do what they need to do to make it exciting. Now, the closing moments of this match, it fell flat. For some reason, the king and queen of the ring, the closing moments fell flat. Like, I don't know what it was or what happened, but literally, Randy took the turnbuckle pad off. So you knew that was going to come into play. At some point, he tried to throw Cody into it. Cody reversed it. Orton goes into it. Orton hits it with kind of like his upper side. So, Orton has some height to him. From that, Orton sells it, hits with the third crossroad of the night. 1, 2, 3, match over. And it was like, okay. No consecutive crossroads. It was just, yeah, granted, I want to say that was like the second or third he hit him with, but it was like, I don't know. That felt a little flat. Like you would have thought with somebody like Randy Orton that maybe he would have hit like the consecutive crossroads, at least maybe like one, maybe two. But hey, King Cody Rhodes, King Cody, you know, there he is with that beautiful crown, and he will, like I said, get a title match between either the winner of CM Punk or John Cena, whoever walks out as undisputed champ. But yeah, like I said, the match wasn't bad. It's just that ending. That ending was just like, oh, that's it. You just did it, and okay, cool. Okay, cool. You know, it was like, okay, cool. But yeah, moving on to the next match of the evening, it was a Riyadh Boulevard street fight between one Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, of course, this match has been going. You know, these women have been, in essence, bitter rivals, bitter enemies for the longest. Of course, Rhea blames Raquel for switching up on her. Raquel is like, nah, it was kind of you that kind of started to switch up and everything. But we're here. You know, Raquel cost Rhea her chance at the Queen of the Ring. Rhea cost Raquel her chance to advance in the Queen of the Ring. So we're here. After all of these things, we're here. We are here. Like I said, this was a Riyadh Boulevard street fight. So there was a lot of back and forth. And then of course, we eventually got to the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? We eventually got to the good stuff of weapons being involved and things like that. Now, this is where, to me, things were a little like, So, Roxanne does come out to try to help, to no avail. It was to no avail. It was like, yeah, you could have stayed at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have stayed at the crib, try to help. So she tried, and then it led to Rhea pretty much taking her out by putting a trash can over her head and doing like a drop kick, and it was like, wow, she's out of there. You know, we don't have to worry about Roxanne jumping in this match anymore. Now, there still was some back and forth where I guess to me, I thought the booking was going to be different, because to me, I thought Raquel was going to take this one, because only reason why it would have led up to possibly the tag match if they still have it at Evolution, because you know Evolution, yeah, it's only one match booked for Evolution, so just putting it out there. Only one match booked for Evolution. And that's an NXT match. Just throwing it out there. Get it together. But the closing moments where there was a table set up across the top turnbuckle, and Rhea had climbed up there with Raquel and pretty much hit a top rope riptide from that table. And that table was a little wobbly. And I was glad that these ladies did not get hurt and that it was fine, because the spot did look a little shaky, but it did work out. It did work out. So, yay. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, Rhea gets the dub. So I don't know, once again, if this is going to potentially lead into a potential tag match at Evolution, because I want to say it was rumored that Raquel and Liv was most likely going to defend against the Bella twins. Now that unfortunately Liv is out from injury, we don't know if it may be like a Raquel and Nikki Bella taking on Raquel and Roxanne, because they're now kind of spinning it as, hey, Nick Aldis and oh my god, I just forgot his name just that fast. The Raw GM. How did I just literally Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis are basically trying to discuss what they're going to do with the tag titles, and most people think that it's probably going to be, they're probably going to just give it to Roxanne and boom, she's going to become a tag champ like that. We'll see. But pretty much that's that match. But like I said, Rhea gets the dub, and I guess we'll see where it goes going forward, because, you know, with Evolution being like a week and a half away, you know, we need some booking. We need some matches for that PLE. I'm just saying. Our next match was a grudge match. You had Sami Zayn taking on Karrion Kross. And we all know that, you know, Karrion Kross loves to do his whole, he's the devil, you know, the devil on your shoulder and all of this. And there was no exception here. He was pretty much kind of on some, hey, Sami Zayn, you know, you're not good enough. I told you before you was never good enough. Here it is. Now you're trying to be king of the ring and trying to become champion when I told you before you was never good enough. And this was, of course, after he lost to Orton. Sammy punched him in the face and was like, don't worry, our match is booked. And then it ended up being here at Night of Champions. Now, this match here was a pretty solid match. I did not mind this match at all. It kind of went the way that I thought it was going to go, because it was back and forth. You know, Kross was doing his, you know, spiel that anytime he was up and, you know, going, anytime he was up and pretty much on top, you know, he was talking his talk towards Zayn, and Zayn was like, you know, fighting back. Now, this is where one thing I thought was interesting. What I thought was interesting is Kross hit the cross jacket on Zayn. Zayn was out. Normally, when a wrestler is out, they usually do the arm raise once, and then they kind of see where that wrestler is out. That's been something they've been doing recently. Like within the last couple of years, that if they see that the wrestler is out, they just lift the arm up once, boom, goes down. Okay, hey, that wrestler is done. Like, they're done. When that happened, I thought the match was over. But no, they went back to the old school way of lifting it for 3. So, of course, lifted once, it went down. Lifted twice, it goes down. Lifted the third time, wow. You know, Sami Zayn fights out of it. And I thought that was interesting. Because I was like, I wonder, did they change the rules, update the rules? Is it a ref's choice type of situation? Because once again, normally it would be over, because they normally been doing the one and done. But Sammy fights back. Then it led to a spot to where Kross took back over, and where he had Zayn in a corner, and 2 consecutive times he ran from corner to corner to hit him with a clothesline. And on the third time, Zayn ran behind him, hit him with a haluva kick. 1, 2, 3, Zayn wins. And it was like, interesting. because once again, I figured Zayn was gonna win, but the toughness they are giving Sami Zayn is wild. Is wild. Cause he was getting beat. Cause cause once again, this ain't the first time in recent memory we have seen, Sami Zayn pretty much getting beat to shit in essence, and then come back. So that's what it's like. It's unique because Gunther beat him down. He came back. This match he was getting beat down. Eventually he came back. So I'm starting to find it interesting, the whole notion that Zayn is going through this thing where he's just recovering from these beatings to get a dub. And not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not, before people start coming for me or anything. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just noticing that it's interesting because when it comes to certain matches, it seems like that plot armor kicks in, and then at other times it's going away. That's why I'm thinking it's interesting, because once again, you have situations like, for instance, with Orton. He fought Orton, he took one RKO, boom, that was it. But he took damn near Kross's whole clip, just like when he fought Gunther for the IC title. Almost took the whole clip before it was like, Zayn comes back and wins somehow. You know what I'm saying? So I find it interesting with Zayn that he can take this crazy amount of punishment and still recover to get the dub. What do y'all think? But yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see what goes forward with this Kross thing, especially since, for the longest, we was like, give Kross a push, Kross deserves to be da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I wonder where's that dude now? Our next match of the night is for the United States Championship. You got Jacob Fatu defending against Solo Sikoa, because remember, he used to love Solo, but at Money in the Bank, yep, I hate you, Solo, and it was like audible gasp. So yeah, we're here now because he was mad that he was told that he was all gas, no brains. Funny enough, to go back, O'Shea Jackson Jr. for the IWC know he's a huge wrestling fan, and I just saw, wait. So Sammy gets the arm count thing with his arm, but the ref just looked at Jay and called for the bell when he lost to Gunther. Thank you, O'Shea Jackson Jr. Because I know I wasn't crazy. That Sammy got the whole arm thing with the 3 count compared to everybody else. Game over. So I'm saying, what's happening here with this plot armor? I'm glad I wasn't the only one who noticed this, so I'm not crazy. Sorry. But yes, Solo and Jacob. So pretty much, so this is where, once again, things get unique with me. They seem like they was building Solo versus Damian. Then they kind of pivot Damian to this whole truth and Aleister Black and all of this. So now I'm like, okay, interesting. Then when the Solo and Jacob thing started to happen, now it kind of turned into, hey, Solo, you want to beat me, you want to basically earn my respect again and all of these things. But now it's like, is this U.S. Championship the issue? Is this U.S. Championship a problem? So he was like, well, I defended against you. And here we are. So I'm like, okay, cool. But I thought Priest was supposed to be next up. I don't know. But here we are. This was pretty much how they like to say on NXT, almost in essence like a kaiju battle. You know what I'm saying? It's Solo and Jacob. These two titans in essence going at it. You know, nothing too crazy, nothing too out of the ordinary type situation. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like it was like a it wasn't like a you just knew Solo was gonna just get beat down, or you just knew, you know what I'm saying? So it was like a good back and forth. Now, of course, you're not gonna have a match with Solo Sikoa and him not having his running buddies coming in and, you know, helping him out. Now, with that being said, the first one to come out was JC Mateo. JC Mateo does run out. He, you know, tries to interfere to no avail. Actually, when he tries to interfere, he's distracting the ref, which I will say this. Between this match and the main event, these refs, boy, between attention spans and between ref bumps, my goodness. So the ref has JC that tied up. Sorry, JC has the ref that tied up to where we see a man in all black in the hood shows up. It's Tonga Loa. Tonga Loa hits Fatu with a top rope kind of draping neck breaker. After that happens, Fatu kicks out, and then he beats up Solo, and then he kind of starts beating up JC and Tonga Loa. After that happens, I can't remember if he hit the moonsault or he was going for the moonsault. The ref got distracted again, and then we see Jacob getting pulled out, and it was the debuting Hikuleo. Now, I think they said officially he's going to be referred to as Talatonga, but he snatches Fatu out, beats him up on the outside, choke slams him on the announce table, and once again, the ref is distracted. He's not ref bumped. He's distracted, which I find even more crazy because it's like, you're not hearing none of this, my boy. You're not hearing none of this madness that is happening. But it happens. He gets thrown into the ring, hit with the Samoan spike. 1, 2, 3, and new. And not only and new, but we can say, look at this lineup Solo Sikoa has. Now, one is going to assume that when Tama Tonga comes back, most likely he's going to join up with Solo, JC, Tonga, and Tala. You know, because I mean, it's family. You know, family. So I'm going to assume he's going to join up with them, which I guess at this point is going to just leave Jacob with the potential help of just Jimmy Uso at the moment. Because they kind of had a little moment on SmackDown, but once again, it's still only just Jacob and Jimmy. They're gonna need some form of some help if they're going to try to take on Solo's bloodline 2.0. So it's funny how, you know, Solo has officially now his new bloodline. So I'm kind of intrigued to see where does this go. And not only where does it go, but in essence too, are they gonna let Solo like do his thing? Like, because they was letting Solo kind of do his thing, and right when he was trying to get there, they pretty much cut the legs off to where Roman got the Ula Fala back, and then it was like, well, good luck, Solo. And now he was in the process of getting everything back and doing everything again, but then you had the notion of now Jacob is against him. So it's just interesting to see, and I'm just hoping that they actually let Solo cook, that they let him cook and let him just kind of do the damn thing. And I'm assuming I'm going to assume this is the start of letting Solo cook, that, you know, we letting Solo, let him do his thing now. You know, we're gonna let him kind of possibly, and I just realized in this oh no, he's not, sorry. But hopefully this is a thing of letting Solo cook. Please. I think he deserves it at this point. I don't know about y'all, but I think he deserves it at this point. Next match. Queen of the Ring final. Asuka taking on Jade Cargill. People, if you didn't see it, look at this. Look at this. Jade Cargill comes out. Let me take the banner off. I'm gonna just be silent for a second. Just look at this. My goodness. She did this Storm cosplay right. I wasn't expecting this, but Lord knows when it happened, it was like, okay. She won. She won. Now, the thing that sucks was that Saudi crowd was not on her side at all. Whether she wasn't getting cheered, they were sort of booing. The Saudi crowd was not feeling Jade Cargill at all. And I noticed it on SmackDown because they did slightly boo. But this one, it was just nothing. Like, Asuka comes out, she gets the hero's welcome, of course. But with Jade, it was like, yeah, that's cool and all. Hey, it's Jade Cargill. And it was like, damn. You really hate to see it because she's improving, one, and she's doing the damn thing. And for them to just not give her like no acknowledgement was crazy. But nonetheless, these two ladies put on a good match. You can definitely see Jade is improving, regardless of what we were saying about her, regardless of what the people has been saying. Jade is definitely improving. She put on a good match with Asuka, and we know Asuka is just Asuka. I mean, Asuka's one of my favorites, and it was a pretty good match. But once again, the ending felt flat. It was a good back and forth. It was a good match, Asuka was going for the Empress Impact, which is her hip attack. Jade catches her, hits her with the jaded 1, 2, 3. That's it. And it was like, I feel like there should have been a little bit more to that sequence before boom, boom, match over. And that's literally what happened. Asuka went for the Empress Impact. Jade caught her, hit her with jaded 1, 2, 3. Your Queen of the Ring of 2025 is the Storm, Jade Cargill. And it was like, okay. You know, it was like, okay. Like, I'm not mad at all, of course, but it was just like, both of these matches just felt flat. Like, they just felt like there should have been more to the ending, or it should have led to the ending better, or something. Like, I don't know. But like I said, between the King and the Queen, they had some good matches. It's just the endings felt flat. That's all. It's just the endings felt flat. Now, if you didn't know, Tiffany Stratton did successfully defend her championship at SmackDown in the last woman standing match against Nia Jax. So as of now, Jade Cargill will be taking on Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam. And from the way it's building, most likely we're going to get Asuka versus Io. Now, with Asuka losing Queen of the Ring, do we get Asuka versus Io at Revolution? Nope, at Evolution, or do they save Asuka versus Io at SummerSlam? So that's the one thing that I think is going to be interesting to see when they're going to pull the trigger on Asuka versus Io. That is it going to be at Evolution or SummerSlam? Because once again, Evolution only has one match so far, and that's JC Jane versus Jordan Grace. Saturday night's main event only has one match so far, and that's Gunther versus Goldberg. And Saturday night's main event is supposed to compete against AEW Y'all In. I'm just saying. But yes, definitely big congratulations to the 2025 Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill. I mean, we pretty much sort of kind of called it. But yeah. And time for your main event of the evening. For one final time, we're going to get for the undisputed WWE Championship, John Cena, the last real champion, the never before seen 17, the greatest of all time, versus the voice of the voiceless, the best in the world, Mr. Pipe Bomb himself, the doctor of punkonomics. If you didn't see SmackDown, then you definitely missed out on a great promo from CM Punk. But the doctor of punkonomics, CM Punk, Mr. Code of Personality. And you know, these gentlemen, once again, I mean, it's hard to say these two are going to have a bad match. I mean, let's face it. It's CM Punk, it's John Cena. One final time per se. So I did not think that they were gonna go out there and stink the joint up. You know what I'm saying? It was like, come on. It wasn't gonna stink the show up. You know, this was the main event. Now, of course, it did go into typical fashion, which I will get there, but it was still good nonetheless. I'm really loving like the whole psychology between these two gentlemen, as far as the whole, like with the promo, how they're pretty much now yin and yang. You know, Punk has become the good guy in this situation, while John Cena was the bad guy. Because if you remember, Money in the Bank, it was a completely different story. You know, Punk was the villain. Cena was the the good guy, and Cena was pretty much trying to save the fact that Punk was supposed to walk out the company with the championship, and literally kind of the whole literal duality. I think it's been 14 years later where Cena is the one who's going to ruin wrestling, and Punk is the one who's supposed to come save wrestling. Crazy, ain't it? Crazy how the tables have turned. But hey, wrestling, great storytelling. I can appreciate the fact that the crowd was in it. The crowd was in it, and the match was good. Like, it wasn't just stiff. Like, these two gentlemen were going out there and doing it. So it wasn't just like, we're watching, quote unquote, two old guys, trying to go out there and have a duel. No, it was actually some pretty good back and forth between these two gentlemen. There was mad AAs and GTS's hit in this match. Like, it was a good one of those quote unquote finisher spams at certain points, but it still wasn't going to end the match because once again, you got to tell the story. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tell the story, and you gotta build the fact that John Cena is still trying to quote unquote ruin wrestling. But of course, we don't get a match like this without typical John Cena shenanigans. And what are the typical John Cena shenanigans, you ask? Well, hey, I will tell you. The ref took, I can't even remember, I think the ref took John Cena's shoulder charge. You know how Cena does the shoulder charge into the 5-knuckle shuffle? He took the shoulder charge, and the ref died. Like, the ref died. Because what proceeded to follow next was just like, what's happening here? So as the ref pretty much kind of just died, in steps this. Sethington's music hit. Of course, he's Mr. Money in the Bank. He's flanked with the Wise Man, and of course, his war dogs, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And it just gets off the rails. They're both trying to beat up CM Punk. CM Punk does kind of fight back. He does fight back against the gentleman, but of course, at some point, it's going to be too much. It's going to be too much that you're fighting against both Bronson and Braun. So then, after they're kind of beating up Cena, after they're beating up Punk, because Cena was down, because I want to say he had just took a GTS. He had just took a GTS, and since there was no ref, it was like, oh well, Punk, what you gonna do? So he took the GTS, and that's when, of course, all of the shenanigans happened. So what happened was Seth was like, well, shit, I'm about to cash in. It's right for the pickings. So Charles Robinson come running down there, full speed, and gets hockey checked. As you can see, he gets hit stick 2.0 by John Cena. As you can even see, Charles Robinson is taking a bump. He is airborne, ladies and gentlemen. He is airborne. Then you get this moment where Cena is getting in Seth's face like, what are you doing? And Seth is like, I'm trying to cash in, big dog. What you mean, what am I doing? So, of course, it leads to Seth and Cena getting into it because it was like, he's trying to cash in on the match and in essence making it a triple threat. So from that, of course, Bronson and Braun starts beating up on Cena. Then we get Sami Zayn running out there. He starts beating up on Braun. And then Penta, of course, you know, Penta has now became almost like the new Jeff Hardy, because, you know, Penta had to hit his strut first before he comes out there to help. So Penta comes out, and then they basically kind of take care of Bronson and Braun. So Bronson and Braun are going, dealing with Penta and Sami Zayn. Then, because Punk and Cena kind of, you know, reunited to kind of help dispatch Seth and crew, they hug it out. Of course, Cena makes the face. Cena then tries to go for Dick Kick City. CM Punk blocks it, hits Cena with the GTS. Of course, once again, we still have no ref. So after he does that, he proceeds to turn around unto this. Hold on. He proceeds to turn around into Blau, Seth hitting him with the briefcase. And then Seth loads up the stomp, hits the stomp. Cena then throws Seth out the ring. The ref wakes up. 1, 2, 3, and still. And still. So, of course, they're announcing it as, you know, Seth screws over CM Punk once again. And I get why they was saying it that way and why it was even kind of hinted that way. I don't necessarily look at it as Seth necessarily screwing CM Punk. I honestly look at it as the fact that Seth just couldn't make it happen, Captain. Because what made it funny to me was some of Seth's mannerisms, because Seth had the notion of Cena was going to just let him cash in his money in the bank and win his championship. So of course Cena's looking at him like, Seth, what are you doing? And Seth kind of has that entitledness, like, well, this is what I meant to do, like, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, okay. Then of course it led to the big brawl, and yeah, you can say Seth screws over Punk because he did hit Punk with the briefcase and then stomped him out, but I don't think it was necessarily a direct, indirect of just screwing CM Punk. I think the notion was, I'm getting CM Punk ready for the pickings and just go ahead and still try to cash in. But Cena recovering, foul, throws him out, gets the dub. But yeah, that was Night of Champions. Pretty much. That is pretty much how it ends, with John Cena retaining. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Night of Champions 2025. Jade Cargill, Queen of the Ring. Cody Rhodes, King of the Ring. Solo Sikoa, new U.S. champ. John Cena and Steel. Now, with Cody winning, as of now, SummerSlam, Cody Rhodes, John Cena. So SummerSlam right now has 2 matches booked. Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton. SummerSlam has 2 matches, while Night of Champions, while Evolution and Saturday Night's Main Event have 1 each. Just putting it out there again for those that didn't hear me earlier. But yeah, that was the PLE, y'all. Whether you loved it or hated it, don't forget to rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, preferably thumbs up. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Give a shout out to the Broskies, Lip Dizzle, Jaeger Bum Bastard, myself, of course, ScooterRay, and new tag predictions champion again, that boy Juggernaut, and that boy Leo, who said he's gonna get that belt come SummerSlam. He's gonna get that tags prediction championship SummerSlam, but we shall see. We shall see. Leo's been spitting venom, so we shall see. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that subscribe button, and tag that notification bell so you can be notified for this good old content that gets posted on the channel. Thank y'all, Tag Nation, for tuning in. Whether you're new here, whether you've been here, make sure you love one another, love yourself, take care of one another, and take care of yourself. It is still Pride Month. It is still Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So please take care of yourself and one another. And until next time, you beautiful, beautiful people out there, tag out. Peace.